Chapter 4 Animal Life Cycles. California Standards Focus Questions. What is a life cycle? What is the life cycle of a frog? What is the life cycle of a mouse? What is the life cycle of a butterfly? What is the life cycle of a grasshopper? Focus on the big idea. How do animals grow and change? Chapter 4 Vocabulary. Life cycle. Mammal. Insect. Amphibian. Tadpole. Larva. Pupa. Lab Zone. Directed Inquiry. Explore. You are there. That's a life cycle.
Let's play a game of first, next, and last, though all of us will know how things change before our eyes as they grow and grow.
Lesson 1. What is a life cycle? All living things grow and change. The way a living thing grows and changes is called a life cycle. Animals have life cycles. There are stages in every life cycle. Animals look different at each stage. All animals change size as they grow. Many animals change shape. Some animals change color too. A tadpole changes and becomes a frog. Growing and changing in different ways. Life cycles are different for different animals. A mammal is an animal that usually has hair or fur on its body. Young mammals look like their parents in many ways. Mammals change size as they get older. Some young mammals change color as they grow. These bears are mammals. The bear cubs will grow bigger as they get older. An insect is an animal that has 3 body parts and 6 legs. Many young insects do not look like their parents. Many young insects change size, shape, and color. A dragonfly is an insect. The young dragonfly looks different from the adult dragonfly. An amphibian is an animal that lives part of its life in the water. It lives part of its life on land, too. Very young amphibians do not look like their parents. Young amphibians change size, shape, and color as they grow. A toad is an amphibian. Lesson Review. 1. Which kind of young animal looks like its parents in many ways? Target skill. 2. State the purpose. Read this lesson again. What did you learn about the ways animals grow and change? Lesson 2. What is the life cycle of a frog? A frog is an amphibian. A frog's life cycle starts with an egg. Some frog eggs float in water. The frog egg hatches. A tadpole swims out. A tadpole is a very young frog. The tadpole grows and changes. The tadpole's back legs grow first. Later, the tadpole's front legs will grow. The young frog in the picture is still growing. Its legs are getting stronger. Its tail is getting smaller. A frog egg is tiny. The egg feels like jelly. A tadpole has a tail. A tadpole begins life in water. This tadpole is 9 weeks old. Its front legs have begun to grow. This young frog is becoming more like its parents. 1. Checkpoint. How does a young frog change as it grows? 2. What is the first stage in the life cycle of a frog? From young frog to adult frog. The young frog grows into an adult frog. The adult frog may lay eggs in the water. The life cycle begins again. An egg. A tadpole after it hatches. Young frog at 12 weeks old. An adult frog does not have a tail. An adult frog can live on land or in the water. Lesson review. 1. What are the stages in the life cycle of a frog? Target skill. 2. State the purpose. Look at the title of this lesson on page 108. What does the title tell you about the purpose of this lesson? Lesson 3. What is the life cycle of a mouse? A mouse is a mammal. A mouse is called a mouse when it is born. A very young mouse looks like its parents, but it does not have hair. The mouse grows and grows. It looks more and more like its parents. An adult mouse can have baby mice of its own. The life cycle begins again. Mice are very tiny when they are born. Their eyes are closed at birth. The young mouse goes outside the nest when it is about 2 weeks old. A mouse's tail can be as long as its body. Lesson review. 1. How does a very young mouse look different from its parents? 2. Writing in science. Write 2 sentences. Tell how a mouse changes as it grows. Lesson 4. What is the life cycle of a butterfly? Some insects have 4 stages in their life cycle. A butterfly is an insect with 4 stages in its life cycle. The first stage is the egg. The next stage is the larva. A larva hatches from the egg. A larva is a young insect. The butterfly larva is called a caterpillar. A hard covering forms around the caterpillar. The caterpillar is now becoming a pupa. Wings begin to grow in the pupa stage. The last stage is an adult butterfly. An adult butterfly does not look like a caterpillar. There is a complete change in the way it looks. The butterfly may lay eggs. The life cycle begins again. A butterfly begins as an egg. The caterpillar eats and grows. The larva changes into a pupa. The pupa becomes an adult butterfly. Lesson review. 1. What is a larva? 2. Writing in science. What are the 4 stages in the life cycle of a butterfly? Lesson 5. What is the life cycle of a grasshopper? A grasshopper is an insect that has 3 stages in its life cycle. The first stage is an egg. The grasshopper egg hatches. The young grasshopper is called a nymph. The nymph has a hard outside covering. A nymph sheds this covering many times. The nymph becomes an adult grasshopper. In this last stage, the grasshopper grows 2 pairs of wings. The adult grasshopper may lay eggs. The life cycle begins again. Grasshopper eggs. A nymph looks like a tiny adult. It does not have wings. Can you see the wings on the adult grasshopper? Lesson review. 1. What are the stages of a grasshopper's life cycle? 2. Writing in science. Write to describe the second stage in the life cycle of a grasshopper. Math in science. How much time? These pictures show the life cycle of a butterfly. They show the amount of time between stages in the life cycle. 1. How many days does it take a butterfly egg to hatch into a caterpillar? 2. How many days does it take for a butterfly egg to become a butterfly? Write a number sentence. 3. If a caterpillar is 8 days old, how many more days will it take to become a pupa? Lab Zone. Take-home activity. A caterpillar grows to be about 5 centimeters long. What other things might be 5 centimeters long? Measure to find out.